Nightsister Merrin has been my favorite Star Wars character since I first played Jedi Fallen Order back in 2019. Because we're getting closer and closer to the release of Jedi Battle Scars and Jedi Survivor this coming March, I thought it would be interesting to explore what we know so far about her character. To truly understand Merrin, we have to start with her origin and culture, which is the Nightsisters, specifically the Nightsister clan on Dathomir led by Mother Talzin. Canonically, not much is known about the Nightsisters and their culture, but here's what we do know. Nightsisters and all who live on Dathomir are a species of Zabrak variant called Dathomirian. In legends, they are a mix of human magic wielders and Zabrak males. The Nightsister culture is very matriarchal, where the magic-wielding women were the dominant leaders, led by the mother, who stayed in the temple and learned magic, and the males were used as workers, warriors, and servants, and lived in a separate area, and only mingled with the Nightsisters if they were chosen to mate. Magic is the power used by the Nightsisters that utilizes the Ichor located in the planet. It is a type of force that uses both the dark and the light sides. Its power is mostly focused on acts of deception, illusion, and manipulation. The Nightsisters stayed mostly secular during the war and worked as assassins when the money was good. That was until Nightsister Saj Ventress came back to the Coven hoping for their help in gaining revenge against Count Dooku, who had wronged her. The massacre on Dathomir took place in 20 BBY, roughly 1 year before Order 66 happened. We don't have canon ages for any of the characters in Fallen Order, but assuming Merrin is 17 to 19 in the game, which takes place in 14 BBY, it means she would be around 11 to 13 when the massacre took place. Merrin, as far as she knew, was the only survivor of this massacre. In a soundbite you can get in the Mantis, she talks about burying her sisters, mothers, and Ileana, a fellow Nightsister who she was very close to. Traditionally, Nightsisters bury their dead kin in pods suspended from the trees made from animal skins and cloth that had to be washed in magical water and then hand-braided while reciting the spell of protection, and then the bodies were cleansed in fragrant oil. From the game, we can see that Merrin wasn't able to bury all of her fellow Nightsisters, from some bones you can find around the map. But this makes sense because the Nightsister burial would have been a large undertaking for such a small girl on her own, and so she probably only got to those who she held most dear. In this time, Merrin also grew closer to the Night Brothers because of her lack of kin, becoming the main and head matriarch of her clan. At this time, all she knew of the people who killed her sisters was they were led by a warrior brandishing a lightsaber, who we know to be General Grievous. But a year after the massacre, during Order 66, a ship would crash on the planet. Inside, a mysterious Jedi wielding the same type of saber, Taron Malicos. So who's Taron Malicos? Most of what we know about Malicos and his rise to power on Dathomir comes from the Force echoes Cal finds around the planet. Taron Malicos during the Clone Wars was one of the Jedi Order's most trusted generals. In 19 BBY, during Order 66, he was betrayed by his clone troopers and was able to escape on his ship, but he soon crash-landed on Dathomir, where he was quickly poisoned by the strong dark side forces on the planet. The Night Brothers found him and brought him before Viscus, who was the leader of the clan at the time. After fighting with the brothers, Malicos ended up killing Viscus, proving himself to the Night Brothers and taking his place as their leader. It was during this time that Malicos started his talks with Nightsister Merrin. He manipulated the young witch by telling her that the Jedi were the ones that killed her people, and that he would help her get revenge if she would teach him how to use Nightsister Magick. Merrin, being young and naive, with a thirst for revenge, reluctantly gave in to his demands and started teaching him how to utilize magic. While Merrin was technically the figurehead of the clan, Malicos was the one pulling all the strings with the Night Brothers, leaving Merrin to her magic studies. This was until a strange ship landed on Dathomir with a strange boy who wielded the same sabers that Merrin had grown to hate. A Jedi who we know well, Cal Kestis. Now on to the gameplay. When Merrin goes to face Cal for the first time, Malicos has already informed her that Cal is part of the Jedi Order who he told her killed her people. In hopes to scare him off, Merrin summons 2 Night Brothers and pumps them up using her Ichor. But this doesn't deter him too much. As Cal travels further into Dathomir, Merrin appears to him again and summons the first of the zombie Nightsisters from their burial pods. Cal hears Merrin's whispers and threats as she watches him move through Dathomir. Malicos then approaches Cal and asks him to join him and learn the dark side as his Padawan. Nightsister Merrin appears to realize that Malicos was lying to her the entire time and he just wanted to manipulate her to gain power. She turns on both Cal and Malicos and using the broken powerful Nightsister orb releases many zombie Nightsisters from the grave. Much later, Cal returns to explore the tomb, needing to find the key to get the holocron on Bogano. On his way in to fight Malicos, he runs into Nightsister Merrin again, this time without her hood, where she realizes Cal's story is not so different from her own. While she doesn't choose to help him, she gives him some advice and sends him on his way. During the fight with Malicos, Merrin decides to finally fight back against the man who manipulated her for so many years and helped Cal defeat him. Striking the final blow, she sends him into the depths of Dathomir to be buried alive. She helped Cal reach the key, and after a short conversation, she decides to join him, finally accepting that her best way to gain revenge and protect Dathomir is to learn about the Empire and help Cal Kestis with his mission. When meeting Grease and Sarah for the first time, Grease is very wary. On the first flight into Dathomir, Grease expresses his fear of the witches of Dathomir, so this isn't too surprising, although Sarah is content to let her in because of Cal's trust in her, even with Grease's uncertainty. It isn't until she requests a rare steak that he finally starts to like her. While on the ship, during a discussion with Sarah and Cal, Merrin brings up a concern that if they train the younglings listed in the holocron, they will just be hunted and killed. This is the first spark of uncertainty around the original plan. As they travel from planet to planet, Merrin expresses her interest in the different feelings of the planets. This would be her first time traveling anywhere other than Dathomir, and it's interesting to see her reaction to all the new experiences and her growth and understanding of the galaxy and how vast it is. Merrin is an asset to the crew on their way to Nur, utilizing her powerful Nightsister Magick to hide the ship so they can get past the Imperial perimeter around the planet. The next time we see Merrin is as she teleports to save both Cal and Sarah from drowning after their tussle with Darth Vader. After Cal wakes up, he's met with a hug from Merrin, where he thanks her for saving him. They then discuss what to do with the holocron, and Cal decides to destroy it to protect the Force-sensitive younglings. The crew decides they will continue their journey together, but what it holds for them, only time will tell. Nightsister Magick is a type of force power derived from the dark side, and it focuses on deception, illusion, and manipulation. Some of the most prominent wielders of magic are Mother Talzin and Old Daka. We see Mother Talzin use magic in many different ways, healing Asajj, transforming Savage, and a form of voodoo to torture Dooku. Old Daka was the most powerful, and she was able to use her magic to resurrect Nightsister mummies and bring them back as zombies. In the game, we see Merrin do many of these magical abilities and more. Some of these magical abilities are assisted by the use of a broken orb that we have little to no knowledge about. Some say it might be the orb we see Mother Talzin use to try and bring herself back to life, but it's not been confirmed. The magic we see her use is teleportation of not only her, but Night Brothers as well. Night Brother strength transformation, transforming Nightsister mummies into zombies, magical attacks, and hiding the ship. So how powerful is Merrin? The answer is we don't know. While she could copy the magic only seen done by the most powerful Nightsisters, we don't know how stable her magic truly was. All we can tell is that she is truly powerful, and while some of this might come from pure skill, she's also been studying magic directly and intensively for many years. I'm really excited to learn more information about her character in the upcoming projects. What are you most excited to learn about Nightsister Merrin, and what do you hope is going to happen with her in the future stories? Let me know down in the comments. Thank you for hanging out with me today. May the Force be with you. Goodbye!